Aloha ladies and gentlemen, my name is Linkz and this is my team's journey to winning the most prestigious Hellhalt tournament, also known as HellCUP, which hosts every other year or so. Although this HellCUP happened in 2022, this is still yet the latest world tourney on a 0.80 patch. Let's jump straight into my first game, which is versus no other but NoSpotAtEverest with Iiabos, Fabi and Siop, who have been pretty much winning most last few HellCUPs up to date. My start is incredible. Elite Archer with 2 Scar, allowing me to push an extra Wisp, which is otherwise not possible if going pure Elite Archer. I've got the almighty Assault tanks on my side. Fobro's starting cards consist mainly of Aqua Plague Super Push. S2 is starting with LOD with Magnetor, which is very strong early on. However, he would need to save some aura and re-roll his cards. His current roll gets weaker on level 5 onwards progressively, with LOD still being pretty good on level 6 with the Siege Bear versus slow moving fortified armor nevertheless. My team may need some support from my side against 5 or 7 cents. I was in this intense dream-like state, almost like a premonition where I could see exactly how the whole game would play out, within a split second, right before it even started. Bit unlucky there for Fobro with the proccing up the wave, although this does delay the game favorably for us, given that we seem pretty strong early to mid-late game as a team, as long as we utilize the rolls we have. Naturally, we would want to invoke monopolizing the game by setting level 2. They see our scout with EA and LOD, maybe they should send 6 or do a King 10 right. We can see the other team's units here on the replay, although the vision for the enemy is blocked by default for each team. A swift introduction into the game, in case this is your first time. At first sight, the game always does seem quite more boring than it actually is. That's just how most people automatically feel about it, subject to my semi-thorough social demographic research. However, by actually playing the game, one gets to realize the infinite possibilities and situations it offers. In a way, it's a modern team-based chess. Dinosaur business manager in a balancing heaven and hell environment, where deep thought rather than fast clicking prevails. It's a strategic puzzle style League of Legends is also currently exploring, though this is just much more hardcore, especially when played to the extreme. In a nutshell, you have gold. And there are 2 operations to spend your gold on, and they need to be balanced and optimized, those 2. So on one hand, you have to build units in the right shape, formation, distance, mix and wide square to hold the next wave. And on the other hand, you can use your gold to upgrade crystal production. Crystals can be used to attack the enemy, and to upgrade your guardian's defenses you are meant to protect. You can also use crystals to induce different levels of so-called rage, which brings down a mini Armageddon on the entire map. Anyways, you get more gold by killing units from the wave, and then the next waves all have different armor, attack type, stats and auras, after a huge champion starts spawning each wave after level 6 as well. Level 10, 20, 25 and 30 are boss levels. Your units also have the same variety of settings. A player is meant to proactively and intelligently adapt by using a combination of what the game has given. You can reroll your cards 5 or 6 times. If you don't hold a part of the wave, it drops down this big corridor, and any survived teammate units can first catch them before they reach the guardian we protect. This plays a major role in the game too, as time provides crystals, and using your crystals accumulates income, which gives the player extra gold at the end of each round. The income generated from using crystals is absolutely crucial for the late game survival within the game. Let me introduce you to my incredible team, each of us a master in our own way. We've spent countless hours perfecting our craft and have developed an intuitive understanding of the game's balance. First, there's Fobro, the king of the KoC clan. He is one of the most experienced players with an unmatched ability to play a variety of styles. But beyond his skills, he's also a great person, always standing up for his friends. Then there's Szsz, our dual lane expert. He's often regarded as the strongest player when it comes to just doing everything right. He has an incredible ability to optimize upgrades with his build and always sees the bigger picture. His quick reflexes and generosity in sharing the load with the team make him a most rock-solid teammate. As for me, I'm often more than happy to work with what the game has given me. I find joy in seeing the team thrive, even if it's me doing the heavy lifting. I specialize in balancing the game's endless stages while supporting my teammates with precision. Whether it's finding ways to blend any units together in a solid formation, or providing auras and other shares at the right moment, I've always got my team's back. It is extremely practical to be able to keep pushing wisps and wood consistently during the early game as we do. The send seems quite successful. We have managed to catch Iiabos and Siop off, and we do receive our first scout. As far as we can keep pushing, and there are such favorable odds for the enemy to leak again now on a resend, we should totally do it. It's also a generally good idea to send level 3 versus Aqua and Tribes as we did. Given that after all those multiple leaks during the last 2 waves, we must be definitely ahead on push. And most likely value, we should maintain our advantage by finding the best level to send on before 10. Level 6 seems most natural. The enemy should be somewhat prepared, though they do seem better built for level 5 and 7. So we just have to keep doing our thing here. I put up those 2 scars and elite arches. S2 is just pushing. I'm really happy Fobro stayed on offlane. Aqua Chariot is actually an incredible offlane role. It took me a few years to fully realize. It can be a little bit weak on level 5, even 7 and level 10 of course. However, the push you get in comparison and straight after 10 especially is often incomparable, and that's subject to your teammates being able to support you of course. We can take a peek how the enemy is building here. In game, the only information we have currently had was the Alpha's Aqua on Fabi, and level 6 seems like a good call, though it kind of seems obvious too. Seems like a leak showed this level 4. They can see now our scout for the first time as well. And S2 spots that Siop has protons, which are good for level 6. Fobro is thinking real quick and pushing us to send level 5 instead, which is a great idea. Possibly we could have planned to save a little bit for 6 too. Nevertheless, it is still a strong move, giving us early momentum and extra income, given we are all kind of prepared. Mentally quite the most, it seems too. It's important for any small assault tanks to be joining battle a bit late, as they do have a tendency to melt down quickly on the front. It feels like I should have pushed extra, though that would mean a slightly smaller send on level 5. And potentially leaking level 6 if the enemy somehow gets a send prepared. Any push I make at this point did feel counterintuitive for me back then, as I would sacrifice sending pretty much a wyvern in order to get the crystal from the upgrade back in over 2 minutes, to then start gaining a mere 1 extra crystal per second. Nowadays, I would still be more push focused, although I believe I really knew what I was doing back then in terms of balance, since I was so eager to get this cup. There are actually quite a few different ways to approach the game, generally speaking, due to the nature of crystal upgrades, how long it takes to get the crystal back, and balance of push units and their lesser, let's say, lesser feasibility as the game progresses, for example. We do catch Siop off significantly with those 60 leagues, and why should we not resend 6 anyways? I'm not sure how my colleagues would hold level 6 if there is a send here, so I have extremely tightly optimized my build and formation. We're kinda just sending auras here and some extra arches and what we can. This should actually do in most cases. Seemingly it does, in a still quite effective manner. 50 leagues, 2 champions and quite a few cents into the king area leads to a further value transfer from the east side towards our west side. Yet, there is still a possibility they can send level 7, so I had stayed 9-5, just to be able to capture all of my team's leagues, in case there was a send, and I needed to support them if that was the case. The plan was to let the other dude push, and I would just balance my way out into the game like I normally do, as back then I was a rank 2 player. I can keep that row for quite a while, since assault tanks are significantly strong as a base, whilst they're supported by pretty much any decent combo of ranged units. If I look back into this game, I would have definitely pushed more. Although I had to maintain solid value for the level 10, level 7, level 5 I was the main holder for, sacrifiction, in order to give my team the freedom they need to flourish into the late game. I'm actually quite the ship in terms of my value. I must have pushed in efficient periods to gain enough income to keep me going and pushing further. Bro can even afford to push more. He only needs to hold level 11 onwards with the plague anyway, which is possible with close to virtually no value alongside the plague. Let's see if anybody sends here, and no sense. So definitely I have played too safe on the push, though I don't know how to maintain an equilibrium through enough experience at this point. After my value is supremely strong, I'm not behind on income at all really, and I still have some crystals somehow to work with. I'm not too far behind my teammates given the role I serve as a main holder for the team. So the enemy must really be sending level 12 now. I have priests to support my army with the extra damage towards level 12, so I'm pretty prepared to hold together with Bro and pretty much seal the game. And because our bows are big and confident, we can send 11 and cause the enemy to send bigger for level 12, so we can hold bigger. Pretty awesome actually. And the enemy seems to be all leaking all around this 11. Let's see. I did manage to convince the team to even do a bit of 12 and maintain the leaking tradition going on, hopefully over there. We seem to be doing a splendid job so far. My plan currently is to speed push to 9-12. We are planning to send level 14 too. I'm attempting to Pro League level 13, but impossible, mission impossible with all this monster value. I still haven't pushed and got so much value on. Well, let's see how things will work out. We're all patiently waiting for 14 and the outcome, and it seems like everyone there is holding, which kind of makes our send a little dubious. Perhaps we could have done 19, as I imagine now. However, we did receive an income boost, while the enemy receives potentially a few free pushes and a small singular value boost. At this point, it's highly unlikely the enemy has accumulated any viable wood to even attempt 15, not to talk about even 16. I have got a golden lady archer here to brighten my path. They could attempt to send to go some 17 for income still. I'm confident we can hold the whole game at this point, however, so we have to be careful and to actually cause significant leaks next time we do attempt to perform a send operation. Naneon Banbakpeja Komigido Hamnida. It's funny how I have such an incredible role. I could literally save all scouts and priests and just reroll in a freestyle to search for Dark Priest, maybe Harpy. S2 has Harpy already. Mercurial here we've got. We need Naga Coat as well for the endless combos that we need. At this point, I am certain at minimum the enemy is sending level 20. Mind you, at this point, neither me, neither most people, I suppose here, know about the bug in the fog that causes virtually a wall hack for the enemy team. Demons and infernos showing in the fog. We really need a fix for that. This got fixed for the following 84 patch that got released. However, it gradually lost popularity as it suffered a desync issue here in End. Eventually, everybody brought it up back onto the old and solid 80 version, which is a little bit easier. This is somehow still making it onto Battle.net through enough love and teamwork and luckily focused skill throughout some recent, how can we say, Blizzard just wanting to, let's say, embrace the gaming community. Anyways, back into the game. It does really feel like it's going to be an endless game. I'm trying to feel the time to reroll sharply and just get what we need, like I said above. Dark Priests and Fobro is pushing me to reroll, and I'm prepared to go on a reroaring streak. I have a quite mental strategy to feel the right moment to reroll and get what I need through the sprinkles of space and time. Thankfully, Fobro is ahead of me already and he rolled those Dark Priests. Oh, who did? GG, we have absolutely everything we need most officially to win the game, I believe, I feel.